retiree to worker ratio was 41 to 1 after World War II. Today it's 2.8 to 1. Oh, that's a terrible topic. Let's not talk about how there's only 2.8 people paying for your Social Security, and that is before we bring in a bunch of immigrants. And I want to stress, I don't care when you immigrated here, if it's 10 generations ago or 10 days ago. All I care is if you are working and producing something in my country that benefits your other citizens, or if you have your hand out asking for them to steal money from the producers and give it to you. But if you are one of those productive people and you are counting on Social Security and you believe that since you paid in, you have to get it. No, legally and ethically and morally, probably, you should get it. And that's not what Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. We have 2.8 people paying in. And out of those just over 2.5 people, they have to support your whole family. We're really close to hitting the 1-to-1. Now, when 41 people chipped in a little bit and supported another family, that was fine. When we get down to 3, that's really hard. What's it going to be like when you're expected to support another family? Ethan, you're absolutely going to have to do that. Do you want to go and give the first half of your money just to support other people?
No, especially because I've seen some people out there think that whether it's Social Security or unemployment, some people nowadays, don't they just go out and get unemployment or something and just sit on it and try and live on that, not work, not provide?
Look, Lila, we have a handful of tenants, and it disgusted me when I was doing maintenance and walked in that I had able-bodied males that were my age, because we were in our 20s when we started doing this. And
Yes.
here they are, mid-20s to mid-30s, perfectly capable of working. And I asked the one guy, why aren't you at work? I was just shocked. I didn't understand why. I was like, do you work midnights or something? He goes, oh, no, I don't have a job. I'm on disability. And I didn't realize it's actually illegal for me to ask. I didn't know that back then. I go, what do you mean? You're as healthy as me. He goes, no, I have seizures. I can't drive, so I can't get a job. I said, all right. Well, when's the last time you had a seizure? He goes, oh, I don't know, 8 years ago or so, but we can't take a chance. And the thing is not that, yeah, part of it is we have to pay in for the Social Security disability that is draining the fund. So people that could have a job can sit there. That's only half the story. And this is where it's going to get happier, I think. If you take the principles that we have taught our children, they have turned that in. Devin became a millionaire. Think about how many adults out there are still dreaming of becoming a millionaire. Devin became a millionaire at 15 years old. I cannot stress enough that I never once gave him $1 to buy a piece of property. Of course, I buy him food and clothes and stuff like that. And it's interesting now, not only has he bought and paid for his own pickup truck, he has never once asked for help paying his outrageously high insurance as a 17-year-old male with a brand new pickup truck. You can imagine is quite high. He also has never asked for gas money from me. On the other hand, I find filling up his little pickup truck's tank is way cheaper than mine. And if he will take his brother to scouts or run errands for me and it saves me time and I don't have to leave, then it is so much more efficient to just say, hey, take my card and fill up your gas tank on the way. Thanks. So yes, of course we do things like that and give him money that way, but he's never asked for that or needed that. Have you, Devin?
No, I haven't, because it's mine. I did the work. I earned it. I created this, and thus I take the responsibility for it. If more people took the responsibility for their own lives, if more people decided, I'm going to do this, I'm going to figure it out, whatever it takes, and not, oh, I'm having a little bit of a hard time, I'm going to go get money from the government or from my parents or from any other, think, higher entity. if they did things on their own instead of always trying to rush and get money from those other people, then how much better would we be? And that's something you've trained me for from, I don't know how long, probably my whole life. It's just, I did something, I am going to find the solution to my problems. And sure, I can ask you questions, you can give me info, and at the end of the day, it comes down to it's my life and I will be responsible for fixing it.
Ethan, something went wrong. Whose fault is it?
Probably mine.
Why?
Because if it's someone else's fault, if someone else caused the problem, how am I supposed to stop that problem from happening in the future? If it's my fault, then I know there's something I can do. There's got to be something I can do to change it, to make it so that problem won't happen again in the future, and so I can fix that problem.
That's right. And how do we implement this in our business? If you are having trouble letting go and you have a business or you want to start a business, Lila, what do we do to ensure things can get done the way we want them? We write a what?
Oh, I have a systems manual that literally walks people through step by step how to do all the different things I want done the way I want them done. And so if there's a problem, my first question is, did you follow the system?
That's right. And if they say yes, do you go through the system with them?
Yes. And then if I see there's a problem, the system's going to be changed because the system caused the problem and I wrote the system. So obviously my fault. Let's change it. Let's get it better.
And if they have the system and it tells them exactly how to do it and they still don't follow it, whose fault is it?
It's mine. I didn't teach them or train them well enough to know to follow the system.
And when Lila or Devin fail and I step in, it is not their failure, it is mine. Because I wrote the original system that they are tweaking. It is my fault because I didn't train them enough on it or didn't give them the tools they needed or the freedom to make a decision when it needed to be made. If they do have the freedom to make a decision and they make the wrong one, it's my fault because I should have foreseen that they might need more guidance in that matter and turned my phone on instead of turning it on for 4 days straight. The thing is, every one of us, you'll notice we worked our way straight up the line. Every one of us takes full responsibility. Ethan has never blamed, oh my gosh, my brother and I were terrible at that. I wish I could say I never did, but I always blamed everything on my little brother. It was always his fault. And he did the same thing for me. I decided I didn't want my kids to grow up like that. I trained them to become best friends. From the time Lila was pregnant with Ethan, even before that, we kept telling Devin about how he's going to get a new friend, a new playmate, and how fun that's going to be. And we had them a lot closer together than my brother and I. And I think the way my brother and I were raised, it wasn't awesome. It was absolutely boys being boys. And if parents, if you want your children or your coworkers or your team at work, it's all the same. If you want them to get along and work together better, then you have to design a situation in which it's never their fault. If anything breaks, it is always the fault of the system or the manager or the boss, whoever's highest up. It's their fault. Never personally attack somebody.
We have talked about taking responsibility, and really it comes down to that. If you want your life to be better, you've got to take responsibility for your life, for your decisions, for the outcome of those decisions. If you don't like the outcomes you're getting, change your decisions, do something better.